Hey, good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show, coming to you from Ellijay, Georgia. But right here in our small studio in Ellijay, Georgia, we can keep an eye on the Ohio 12th District. We can keep an eye on what's happening up there in Michigan. We can keep an eye on Joe and Minka this morning as they are riding a blue wave, that surfboard of blue that they're praying for. They had a little prayer session before they started praying for the blue wave there on MSNBC this morning. But I'm your host, BKP. We're going to break down a couple things, all right? We're going to break down a couple things. Now, first of all, if you'd like to get in touch with the show, 706-889 706-889-9700. You can text our show. If you'd ever like to be a guest, text the show. Our producer will get in touch with you, and we'll see if we can get you on or schedule you in to be on our show. We're glad to have you. If you agree or even disagree with your host, which doesn't happen quite often, that often, but quite often, doesn't happen quite often. That doesn't work. I was up late last night, folks. It doesn't happen that often, but you're welcome to make an attempt to disagree with me at 706-889-9700. Send me an email, chief@fetchernews.com. Follow us on Twitter at FetcherNews, at FYNTV. Find us on Instagram and Facebook and our YouTube channel, FYNTV, Fetcher News, while it lasts. Get it while it lasts until they pull the hook. And we're out of there. Ooh, boy, that's a scary thought. Could be any time today. All right, now, provisional ballots. Now, it's time for the Republicans to send in the clowns. And I'm sorry, if you're an attorney, I just wanted to say the clowns, okay? I just wanted to say that. Don't get all bent out of shape if you're an attorney. I love you. I have needed you from time to time. So anyhow, it's time for the Republicans to send in the clown car and get all over this. This is my serious side. Get in the 12th now. Get in there. I hope they flew in the entire staff of the Republican attorneys last night to oversee the provisional ballots, counting of the provisional ballots and absentee ballots in this race. Now, it's 1,700, right around 1,700 votes that separate these two candidates. No, we'll get into their names in a minute. But 1,700 votes separate this Democrat and Republican. I'm going to explain throughout the show where the media is telling you, ready? Where the media is telling you that it's a blue wave, and Republicans, this is the mark and signs of big trouble in November, and how toxic Trump is, and how many seats will flip. 71%, odds are as many as 60 seats could flip, is the calculation with all the numbers that have been crunched, and the data has been put in, and the algorithms, and where you eat at lunch and what you put in your coffee has all been pushed into data, and 71% say it's possible that about 60 seats could flip. The blue wave is real according to the people. You remember Trump was down 12 points on Election Day. He actually finished up. Now, let's see. We're going to talk about Michigan today, and that's interesting. I always like to put some things together. Trump finished up his campaign in Michigan, and he finished it up on Election Day. Remember, he was supposed to be there like 11:30 at night, that last stop. What was there, 12 or 15,000 people in Michigan? Was it out there in Lansing? I forget where it was, but out there at the airport, 15,000 people waited till like 12:45 Tuesday morning, Election Day, for this guy to get in here, and he still did the rally. Okay? So anyhow, Trump swooped in and saved the 12th for Republicans. I know, now they're telling you how Trump is hurting the 12th, but he swooped in and saved it. And I'll explain later what I mean by that. Now, what is a provisional ballot? So let's just go to this very quickly, okay? Let's see which one I have here. One will come up here in a minute, okay? Let's see. There it is. Now, you're hearing these two candidates, and here's the thing I want you to pay attention to, because everything is on the table here. Everything. Now, keep in mind, I have to sigh because it just frustrates me so much. According to the deep state media that is running the narrative that the Russians attempted to hack our elections and change the results, and the whole world and our democracy will crumble if we don't all acknowledge that today and figure out how to move forward and stop the Russians. Now, not stop the illegal votes coming across the border, not stop sanctuary cities where illegals are packed in, okay, these cities. We're not concerned about stopping that. It's those damn pesky Russians that at all costs we must stop from impacting our elections. You have heard crumbling our democracy, attempting to alter our elections, impacting elections, okay, all the above. Nobody ever talks about the old provisional ballot. Now, last night, I'm watching the results. I went down, and before I get going too deep into this, I want to say hello to each and every new viewer we have. I know there's some of you out there. I'm just going to say off the top of my head, we had a room of about 40 great Americans. You guys are great people. I can't tell you the last time I enjoyed something as much as last night down at the President's Team group down in Woodstock. Went down to traveled all the way to Woodstock there. Yeah, for me, it's all the way. You know, I don't get out much. This is the President's Team, about 40. They are an outstanding group of people and went down there last night. Thank you very much for inviting me. We had a great conversation on fake news, okay? I got an opportunity to spend about 15, 20 minutes talking about fake news and took several questions. So thank you very much, and you are engaged out there, all right? I want to say thank you. I want to say how much I enjoyed meeting Alicia Adams from, she is with Americans for Prosperity, and their meeting is Thursday, August 16th, and it's confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh. What does the SCOTUS vacancy mean to the nation? There's a bunch of questions here she handed out last night. We have answered them all on the show, so I enjoyed meeting you. And again, thank you very much. Now, moving right along, in Ohio, we hear about the 1,700. Now, I'm going to stay focused here for a minute, okay? In Ohio, we hear about the 1,700 votes that separate these two candidates. So, Amanda, could you pull up, what's his name? Is his name O'Donnell? I mean, I got home at 10 o'clock. Let's go there. I think his name, Danny O'Donnell. Okay. Oh, Danny boy, I hear the pipe. I don't know. So Danny O'Donnell, you just got to say O'Connor's his name. I wanted to say O'Donnell. Danny O'Connor. So this is Danny O'Connor. He is the Democrat there in the 12th District of Ohio. There's a lot to break down, so stay with me, all right? And the presumed new champion, waiting on the final judge's decision, Troy Balderson. So put up Troy Balderson for me there, okay? So you got Troy Balderson, the Republican. You got Danny O'Connor, the Democrat, are separated by 1,700 votes. We will get the number, but we're hearing over 3,000. I don't know if it's 3,000 or 5, all right? So don't take me to task over the numbers. Let's see if I can get that here. Ohio special election absentee and provisional ballots, okay? Republican Troy Balderson maintained a slim lead with 100% of the precincts counted, reporting in the Ohio special election for the 12th congressional seat. However, there are thousands of absentee and provisional ballots remaining in the race. According to Ohio Secretary of State office, just how many absentee and provisional ballots, okay, remain in the race. All right. The County Board of Elections reported that 3,435 provisional ballots were cast, and there were 5,048 absentee ballots. Now, absentee ballots, and don't want to take too much time. Absentee ballots, the 12th has a lot in this stew that we got to unpack. Because remember, only do Democrats get interested if it's a Russian, okay? If your name is Boris or Natasha, you are on a watch list, okay? But seriously, they're wanting to protect the integrity. They're wanting to protect our elections. Why President Trump will not protect our elections, we don't know from the Russians. Now go to every inner city. And what happens in this country is we hear inner city and our brains go to Atlanta, and our brains go to Dallas and New York City and Houston and Miami. We don't go to like Columbus, Ohio. I went back to Ohio and my city was gone. Columbus, Ohio, what they're saying is Columbus, Ohio, they don't go there. Go to Columbus, Ohio. I bet you things have changed in Columbus, Ohio. Why, it's probably the last place you would think for it to be a sanctuary city. It's probably the last place you would think for illegals to be hiding within those old apartments there. It just, I don't know, Columbus, something about it just doesn't seem like it could happen there. 3,435 provisional ballots. Now, absentee ballots, you're supposed to have a witness. I think you're supposed to go over and you're supposed to sign it. You're supposed to sign it in front of a notary or something or whatever. Absentee ballots, you stand a better chance of them being authentic. And we'll leave it there and not argue that it is the voter. So this guy stands a pretty good job or chance with the absentee ballots, all right? A 50, let's just say they go 60-40 for the Republican. That's pretty good. But there's 3,400 and only 1,700 provisional ballots. Now, what is a provisional ballot? In an election in the United States, a provisional ballot is used to record a vote when there are questions about the given voter's eligibility. Everybody that walks in the voting booth in America can vote, and they love it. I mean, unless Facebook sells $80,000 worth of ads to Russian bots, and unless Russians are trying to hack the machines. They're not concerned about Russians hacking the machines as much as they are you, Donald Trump, and Donald Trump supporters trying to validate and have accurate legal elections. Now, accurate legal elections by citizens eligible to vote in this country is the last thing the Democrats are interested in. So provisional ballots in elections in the United States, a provisional ballot is used to record a vote when there are questions about the eligibility. So you walk up, let me just go a little further. The guarantee that a vote could cast, a guarantee that a voter could cast a provisional ballot if the voter states that he or she is entitled to vote is required by federal help among American Vote Act 2002. Who was president in 2002? I mean, I can't go way back and count that. Who was president in 2002? We'll check into that in a little bit. Was that George W. Bush? 2001. 9/11, right? 2002. So, entitled to vote is required by the Federal Help America Vote Act of 2002. Why in the hell would George W. Bush do this? So what this means is you walk up, okay, you're not registered to vote. but you walk up to the table and you swear you're registered to vote. Or you don't live in the district and you walk up and say, and they go through the roll and they ask for your ID, God forbid, and I don't have an ID. Okay. All right, don't have an ID. I want a provisional ballot. Bottom line is you can walk through Columbus. You can take all the illegals. You can take all the unregistered. Okay? And they can walk up and say, I want a ballot and vote. Now, the Secretary of State is supposed to validate that provisional ballots are authentic, legal, and are cast in a legal way by somebody eligible to vote. They're supposed to. But this is Columbus, right? Provisional ballots. Now, I think the Republican can hold on. But I think right now is where we need to look at this so-called provisional ballot. I'm going to say I'm sorry. If you don't know where the hell to vote, sorry. You know, let me tell you something, okay? Let me explain this and go to break. Provisional ballot is for when you accidentally go to the wrong precinct. So you're supposed to vote. I vote in Cherry Log, Georgia. Boom, Cherry Log. I go in there. Now, I can't go down to LJ South. I'm not on a roll there. I can't go down to LJ North. I can't go here, there, everywhere. I can't go to Fannin County. I have to go there. That's the district that I'm in. That's the voting precinct that I'm in. So I walk in and I vote. But let's say you just moved here, okay? And it's more important for you to find a restaurant. It's more important for you to find where you can get a latte. You know, you can take your damn time to find out everything else. You can go down the road and say, Google, GPS me the closest blank restaurant. And Google will send you right there. And my God, every day of your life, you can find whatever you want on Amazon. You can find whatever you want all over the damn world, but you can't find out where the hell you're supposed to vote. Let me tell you something. If you can't take a minute and find out where you're supposed to vote, damn it, you should not be able to vote. Now, I'm sorry. I don't know. I should have never went there. But here's the point. So you walk in, they say, well, I don't think you're at the right precinct. No, I am. I want a provisional ballot. That's all you got to do in America is say, I want a provisional ballot. Don't forget, in Ohio, sometimes I touch on some things. Forget the blue wave. Sometimes I touch on things. There's 3,435 provisional ballots. I think what we should do in the Ohio 12 is I think not only should we look in this district of who the 34 and 35, this should be a project. Now, to hell with Mueller figuring out, I was up late. Now, let's forget 70-some people were shot in Chicago over the past weekend. Let's forget, I think it's up to 12 now dead in this war, okay, in the streets of Chicago. Okay, let's forget that. Don't you feel much safer coming out of the house and going to work knowing Paul Manafort is locked up? I mean, can you not live a little better? Do you not feel just a little more comfortable knowing that Paul Manafort is in prison and on trial? It could be 100 years. Where are the liberals on these illegal guns that killed 12 people? Where are they? Where are they trying to stop guns? How come they're not out there marching? Where is David Hogue, or whatever the hell those kids? Where are the band of child idiots from Florida? Where are they at? How come they're not band together? Where's the man with the bullhorn, Al Sharpton? Oh, maybe gun safety or really gun legislation is not what they're going for. Maybe that's the truth. Provisional ballots, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how Donald Trump saved, if he wins, how Donald Trump saved the 12th Congressional District in Ohio. And Debbie Stabenow, don't be looking in the rear view mirror, okay? She'll call the cops. Here's my impression. I can't do it. Oh, I'm writing a new song. I'm writing a new song. I'm going to work on it during the break, okay? I'm serious. I'm just silly, but this is true. Watch what happens in Michigan. The 12th, how did Donald Trump save the 12th? And we got a lot more to talk about. Provisional ballots, really? I'm your host, BKP. Take us a break.